Great. What will you do if your dataset is not balanced?
See, this happens in almost every ML project. Suppose you are building a model for fraud detection. You will have around 10,000 clean records and maybe 50 frauds. Okay. The model will just predict not fraud every time and still looks accurate. So I fix it by either adding more fraud samples using Smerte or reducing the big classes. Sometimes I adjust the class weight in the model itself. But the key is I never judge it by accuracy. I check recall and F1 score because I want it to actually catch the rare cases as well. This is I should use in this context.
Good. Your training loss keeps going down, but validation loss goes up. What's happening?
Yes, that is a classic overfitting. The model has memorized the training data and stopped learning general patterns. I usually fix it by using dropout, early stopping, or simplifying the model. Sometimes just giving it more varied data also help here. The simple way to explain it is that my model is brilliant in practice test but fails in the final exam and it clicks with everyone. Okay.
Fine. Your model accuracy drops slowly after going live. What's going wrong?
Sure, that is a model drift case. The data pattern in real life has changed, like customer behavior, season, or production mix. In this case, the model does not understand the new pattern. I will monitor inputs and predictions using the drift matrix or dashboards. Once I confirm the drift, I retrain the model using recent data. It is like updating your learning notes before a new exam. Okay?
Cool. How would you design a recommendation system for an online store?
Sure. In this case, I first understand the goal. Are we pushing engagement, sales, or discovery? Then I will collect the user activity data like clicks, views, and purchases. I did start with collaborative filtering, then mix it with content-based filters. Okay. Once it start performing okay, I did A/B test on the real user. Later, I added real-time updates and caching for speed because it is better to start simple and grow with data.
Great. What if your model performs badly for one group or region?
Sure, that is bias and it is very real, right? I did check if the data for that reason is too small or different in pattern. Then I did realize results separately for that group. If it clearly biased, I did balance the data, collect the samples, and reweight the model. Because sometimes just normalizing the features solve it. Okay, the goal is fairness without losing the accuracy.
Good. What if your model is too slow when used in production?
Sure, in this case, I will first find the bottleneck. Maybe loading the model takes time or code is not optimized properly. Then I did try pruning or quantization to make it smaller. Batch processing or GPUs help too. For web applications, I keep a warm cache so predictions are instant. It is all about balance, speed without quality loss.
Fine. What will you do if your data has many missing values?
Sure, I first check how many values are missing here. If it is less, I will fill them with mean or meridian. Okay. For text data, I add unknown as a separate category. But if the column is mostly empty, I'll drop it. Sometimes missing data tells a story itself. Okay, like not filled means not used. Okay, so I decide based on how important that field is.
Cool. What will you do if your model's accuracy drops after adding a new feature?
Sure, that means the new feature added noise instead of help. I will remove that feature and test it again. Then I did see if that column has missing or wrongly scaled values as well. Okay. Sometimes features look meaningful to humans, but it will confuse the models. Okay. So I trust the validation result, not my assumptions.
Great. How do you pick the right metric for your ML problem?
Sure. I always start by asking what the business really want here. If it is a fraud detection, I care about recall. Okay. Because missing fraud hurts. Okay. For spam filters, I look at the precision so that I don't flag good emails. For prediction, I use RMSE or MAE. The matrices tells what good performance means in that case. So I never pick one blindly. I always trust these matrices.
Good. Your model works fine on your laptop but fails after going live. Why?
Sure, that happens when a real world data or environment is missing from the training. Maybe pre-processing is inconsistent or features are missing. Okay. I do compare input data from production while training data and see what is the difference between both of that. Sometimes even model version or dependencies mismatch can cause it. Okay. So once aligned, I redeploy and test again with the live data.
Great. What will you do if your model predicts well but still doesn't help business goals?
So in this case, then I did step back and check what business matrices we are chasing. Maybe the model is accurate technically, but it is not aligned with the actual outcomes, like predicting demands correctly, but not helping the scale because inventory logic is missing there. I did work with business teams to match the model output to real impact. Okay. Machine learning or ML is not about accuracy alone. Okay. It's also about usefulness. So I do all these things.
Good. How do you decide when your model is ready for production?
Sure. In this case, I look beyond validation accuracy. I check the stability, inference speed, and whether it handles unseen inputs as well. I also test it in the staging with the real sample data. If matrices are consistent and the model does not break under the edge cases, then I consider it as ready. Okay, basically, it should survive outside lab as well.
Fine. You have too many features. How do you decide which ones to keep?
Yeah, I do start with the correlation checks and remove features that duplicate each other. Then I did use model based features, importance like tree model or presumption scores. Sometimes simple intuition from domain expert also help here. Keeping fewer cleaner features usually improve both accuracy and explainability.
Cool. Your model predicts wrong results suddenly. What will you check first?
Sure, I will first check if the input data pipeline changed. Maybe some column got renamed or scaled differently. Okay. Then I will look at the version history. Did the model or library updates or not? I will log a few sample inputs and output to see what is actually broken. Usually the issue is small, like one pre-processing mismatch. Okay.
Great. How do you explain your ML model results to a non technical manager?
Okay. I never talk math. Okay. I use simple words like the model looks at the purchase history and predicts what customers might like next. I show visual examples, feature importance, confusion matrix in the plain English. I tell stories like our model caught 20% more fraud from last month. That's how people understand the results through business impact, not the algorithms.
Good. How would you handle a project where data keeps changing daily?
Okay. I did build a restraining pipeline that updates automatically, maybe weekly or monthly based on the drift. I did store all model versions and log to compare performances. If something breaks, I can roll back quickly. Okay. So ML projects are live systems. They need maintenance, not at one time development.
Fine. How do you deal with outliers in data?
Sure. Firstly, I visualize to see what looks unusual there. If those values are genuine, like high value transaction, etc., I keep them. Okay. But if they are data entry errors or impossible numbers, I remove them or cap them. For some models, I lock transform features to reduce outlier impact. Okay. It is all about keeping truth, removing the noise.
Cool. What's your process if model accuracy stops improving after a point?
Sure. I did look at three things: data, features, and algorithm. Maybe the model reached its limit with current data. I did add new features and try assembling models. Sometimes cleaning data gives you a bigger boost than fancy models. Okay, you have to keep trying like this as well. The idea is to improve the signal quality before switching to the complex techniques.
Great. How do you make sure your ML experiments are repeatable?
Sure, I always fix random seeds, save environment information, and store dataset versions. I use tools like MLflow or Simple Logs to track each run. So if a model performs well, I can exactly recreate it. Consistency matter more here than luck, okay, in ML.
Good. Imagine you have less data for a new project. How will you still build a model?
Sure, if the data is limited, I did start with the simple models like logistic regression instead of deep learning. I did use cross validation to squeeze maximum learning. Okay. Sometimes I combine it with the synthetic data or transfer learning. Okay. The goal is to use small data smartly, not to force complex algorithm on it. Thank you.